What's up YouTube? We're back for day 2 of this 30-day stretch, middle split challenge that I'm challenging myself to. So we're just gonna hop right in and get back to another round of doing middle split stretches. I also really want to work on my back flexibility, so I'm gonna throw some of that in today, working on some chin stands and opening up the back. So let's just jump right into it. So we're going to start in a butterfly stretch. You can bounce your legs to begin opening up the hips. You're going to push down on both sides, and then you're going to use your elbows to push down on both as you focus on getting your stomach down towards the ground. We're then going to go into a squat and use our forearms to push our knees back, and we can kind of rock that out to open up the hips. And then we're going to go in a standing straddle. If you can get your hands behind your ankles, extra plus for you. We're going to reach over to one side and then bring our arm behind our back to grab our thigh while the other one grabs our foot. We can then kind of rock it out to open up the hips and just wake them up a little. And then we're going to squat down into a one-sided squat. We're going to push our leg that's up back so that we're still opening up those hips. And we can move our foot between a point and a flex as well. We're then going to go into a frog stretch, and we're going to hold it here. Now we're going to jump into our open straddle, and we're going to open up our side obliques. We're going to reach over to one side, focusing on keeping our chest up. We can put our bottom arm in front of us to kind of keep our chest up instead of facing towards the ground. And then we're going to just rock it out. Now we're going to work on our straddle while on our back. So we're going to open up the straddle, and then you can bend the legs and open them, bounce them a little, and we're going to do some beats, cross them, and drop them open. At this point, you should feel your hips opening, so we're going to rock it out a little so that we start stretching out the outside of the hips as well. We're then going to cross the leg over and look to the opposite side so we get more into stretching the outside hips. Now we're going to put one leg on top of the other and bend forward. Again, to stretch the outside hips, you want to stretch both the inside and the outside so you don't pull any muscles, and you keep your legs even with their flexibility on both sides. We can then settle back into a butterfly stretch and then move back into our straddle again. This time we're going to go down with the focus on bringing our stomach down towards the ground. And we're going to just hold it here. Going to move into a downward dog, so we start training our active flexibility and our standing splits. while still opening the hips. So we're going to rotate the leg in an inward circle and then an outward circle so that we're still working on opening up our hips. Now we're going to go into our straddle a third time, and this time prepare to go into a full middle split. So we're going to start with some baby rocks, and then once we feel comfortable, we're going to go ahead and roll up and over into our middle splits. We're now going to go into a half straddle and reach over for our ankle to stretch out our side obliques again, just waking up the body, and then we're going to go into our half middle split and hold it here. Now we're just repeating what we've done before, sitting back in our straddle, focusing on bringing the stomach down to the ground. Sometimes it can take a good 3 times to really get the body warm to get into our maximum stretch for the day. And we're going to go back in downward dog into our standing split, and this time we're going to open out to the side for a standing middle split. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I want to get into back flexibility today as well, so we're going to do some cat and cow. Now we're going to go into a cat stretch where we focus on bringing the chest down towards the ground while our butt is in the air. And then we're going to come down to a half cobra and focus on opening up our upper back, and then into a full cobra. We can roll out our shoulders a bit. This time when we go into our cobra, we can come up onto our toes and rock it out just to stretch deeper into the lower back. We can also bend our elbows and really focus on pushing our chest forward and our head back so we push deeper into the back. And don't forget to counter stretch it out and round out your back and come into a child's pose. so that you're countering all the work you're doing a little and giving your back a bit of a relief. And now we can move back into the frog stretch, so we are refocusing a little bit on opening up our hips again. Now we're going to work on our camel stretch, bringing our head back towards our toes, hands to the ground, and then if we can, we're going to push up into a bridge and rock it out, focusing on bringing our shoulders over our wrists and pushing more into our back, pushing our hips up. And then we can even come down to our elbows and rock it out here, so we're giving our back a full stretch. We're now going to go into a standing forward fold and stand all the way up so that we can go into a full bridge. For this bridge, we're not going to start in a bend. We're going to focus on our shoulders behind the ears and our abs engaged. We're then going to do some bridge push-ups, focusing on tapping down anything from our forehead to our nose to our chin down to the ground. And then we're going to come back up and go back into a forward fold to counter out some of the stretching. So now, after taking a break, we're focusing on our back. We're going to go into our third round of the middle splits, and this time we're going to hold it. If you put your arms out, you're welcoming more of the openness. And then we're going to go back into stretching our outer thighs. It's always good to counteract what you just stretched. And now we're going to go into our forward fold with the focus on bringing our stomach down to our thighs. Now we're going to focus on opening up our neck. We're just going to place our palms on our chin and look up and allow our neck to sink into the stretch and hold. And now we're going to move into our elbow stands with the intention to open up our back further. So we're going to start by bringing our legs up and keeping them straight to open up our back, and then go ahead and bend them and push through the shoulders to open up more. We're then going to sit on our heels and focus on opening up our back by pulling our thighs back and pushing our chest forward and dropping our head back to really drop into that lower back. Now we're going to go back into our Cobra, but this time we're going to bring our toes to our head. Now we're going to go into another round of standing bridge using the same technique where we focus on engaging our abs rather than starting in a bend. And we're going to sit our hips down to open up our shoulders and then push through the shoulders and straighten out our legs so that we open up more of our back. Then we're going to come down to our elbows, push more through their shoulders, and work on reaching those toes, bringing it to our head, and further stretching out the back. And our last and final move, this one is just for fun. We're going to do backwards roll over our shoulder and into the middle splits. Just for fun, then we can hold for a second. And that's the end of this YouTube. I hope you enjoyed. That's day 2 out of 30 days. So join me back next time to see more. And if you like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great week. What's up, YouTube? We're back for day 2 of